Good evening. I'm Warren Altimore, and this is Mount Carmel Area High School football. We're down here at the Mount Carmel Stadium. And with us tonight, we have Coach Stan Dick from the Marian Catholic Colts, the opponent for tonight. Coach, maybe we give us a quick rundown on your team as far as any injuries or key personnel problems you might have going into the game.
Well, we suffered a major injury last week against Lord, losing Michael Makovic, who's one of our two starting quarterbacks, starting safety, probably the best all-around athlete on our football team, a junior, our quickest back, and so forth. And he's out for this game and possibly, as we talk, maybe indefinitely. We're hoping to get him back next week, but we're not really sure yet.
Oh, it's a tough break. You're 4-1 right now coming into this contest with a tough loss to Pottsville, which is the odds-on favorite now in the Class 1 division of the Southern Conference here. How do you feel about Mount Carmel? They're 4-1 also coming into the contest, and they have aspirations right now of going against Pottsville and probably being a deciding game as far as who wins the big conference. How about you? How do you feel about this?
Mount Carmel's an outstanding football team. I think Mount Carmel-Pottsville will be one of the greatest games to be played in the last 5 years in the coal regions, and we think Mount Carmel is going to be one of the best teams we're going to play without question this year. And Pottsville, we've already seen Pottsville, a big, strong physical team, and it's going to be a great game. That's basically their problem now. I guess we're worried about Mount Carmel tonight. We realize we're going to have to play as well as we played in many weeks to compete with Mount Carmel. And physically, I think we're ready, and now mentally we'll see just what we have.
Coach, you're 0-3 against Mount Carmel in the series, with one game being a large difference in score, but the last two being very close, and the last one losing on a heartbreaking 94-yard run at the end of the game. How do you feel about the game tonight as far as Mount Carmel? Do you expect anything different to come this way, or pretty much the same kind of game as the last two?
I would hope it would be the same type of game with a different outcome, obviously. We think Mount Carmel's an explosive offensive team. They're a very physical team. We feel we have to play the best ball game we've played so far this season. That includes our scrimmages to compete against the Red Tornadoes. We've got a great football tradition here. It's a program-type game for us. We want to play as well as we can, come out of this ball game a better football team, gearing towards our goal, which really is the Class B playoffs of the Eastern Conference. But we're certainly excited about being here, and I know our players, as we talk, seem to be ready to play, but time's going to tell on that.
Coach, just one last question. You've been down in this area last week for a game with Lords, and it apparently caused some controversy between you and the Lords team. Has your squad been aware of that, and has that affected them at all as you come down and meet Mount Carmel, or is it just something that doesn't bother them whatsoever?
There was nothing done there that would not be done by, I think, any football coach. We were put in a situation we had to react. We did. Our players realized that. I think a lot of people who are at the ball game realize that, and certainly we're doing what's best for our people. Coach Chesney did what's best for him. It's a shame that it had to happen that way, but that's history now. We're gearing into this ball game from last Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Okay, Coach, thanks for your comments and your time, and listen, good luck tonight to you and your team and the rest of the season.
Tonight we also have with us Marcus Startzel. He was last week's WKMC TV's Player of the Game. Marcus, I'll tell you, Warren and I said Marcus Startzel so many times up there. We were overwhelmed by the game you played. Looked real great on offense and a good game on defense. How's it look for tonight?
Well, I'm not feeling a little underwear tonight, but I hope I can have a good game like I did last week, because you don't get them very often.
Does it seem like Jazz is going to use you on offense with the pass? That one play was so great. Does it look like it'll come back into the offense tonight?
I hope so. I like scoring touchdowns.
That's good. How's everybody else? Is everybody else healthy for tonight?
Yeah, we're all pretty good. We're ready to play a good game.
Well, we look forward to maybe having you back here sometime, and good game tonight.
Hey,
thanks, Marcus.
Okay, we're here with Coach Dimnick tonight. The first question we better get out of the way first is, I'm sure everyone wants to know, is there any key injuries or personnel changes we should look forward to tonight?
No, we don't have any kind of injuries, but we do have a little bit of sickness. A couple of guys, Marcus Startzel isn't up to par. He went home, spent half the day at home because he was sick, and Bobby Delbo, he's a little under the weather, and Jeff Costello, they cold and everything, but they will play.
Okay. We've seen last week probably more than the other three games combined with the use of the option play. Are we looking forward to seeing that tonight again as much as we did against Donegal, or was that just for a one-game time?
Well, no, it's not a one game. It comes down to what they give us. If they give us the option, we'll use it. If we'll use it exclusively if they give it to us. But if they give us something that's going to be better and we think it's going to be to our advantage, then we'll go with what they give us.
Coach Dick spoke with us a little while ago, and I mentioned to him that they're 0-3 in the series against us, with one blowout game in the very beginning, with the last two games being extremely close. And it seemed to me that he would look like nothing better than to put one big win up against Mount Carmel area with his whole program. Do you think this is going to be the same kind of game as the last two? It'll be hard fought down to the last couple of minutes, a low scoring game?
Well, I don't know. I hope not. They have a fine football team, and we know they're going to give us trouble. It's a matter of how successful they are against us early in the game. And if they have success early, then it'll be a tough game all the way through. But if we could, if we could have success and control them early in the game, then anything could happen.
Last week against Donegal, which was a pretty good team coming down from the Lancaster-Lebanon area, we saw that Mount Carmel, at least I think, and Bob and myself said the same thing. We played a near flawless game last week against them as far as line play and running and things. We also had a chance to get some young kids and get some good game experience, which you had to feel good about. Do you feel that this is carried over now? You don't see any letdown here? Are they the same as they were the week before coming into this game?
Well, that's something you can't control, Warren. We're hoping it carries over. Last week's game, it looked to me that the kids seem to be coming on strong now. They have more confidence. They're playing with more intensity and aggressiveness. So we're just hoping it continues right on through tonight. The kids have, we have a pretty solid football team. We just hope that they don't go having any letdown thinking that maybe Marian Catholic won't be a tough game for us.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. Thanks a lot. Listen, good luck tonight.
Okay. Right.
We'll see you next week.
Right.
Tonight we also have with us three special little guys. They work awful hard on this football field, and not too many people know them. On my right here is Jed Gonzalo. Right here, Carmen DiFrancesco. And right here with me, Jonathan Else. These guys are the water boys, ball boys for the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes. They've held a special tradition and been here, and they're a veteran crew, been around for about 2 years. Just want the boys to tell you a little bit about what they do out on the field. Jed, you're the ball boy. I see you running up and down the field, and I see you throwing balls in and out to the referee. What do you do that for?
Well, our Mount Carmel Tornado quarterbacks like the texture of the balls, so they like to use the balls for the games.
You like to take that ball in and make sure that Mount Carmel has their own ball out there. Did you ever get one mixed up and have a Shamokin ball out there when a Mount Carmel ball should have been out there?
Once or twice.
But you make sure of it pretty much that there's a Mount Carmel ball out there, right? That's good. Carmen, you guys you and John take out the water and the towels and things like that, okay? When you go out there, do they ever give you a hard time? Do they say, give me the water or anything like that?
No.
No? What else? Anything exciting ever happen to you out there? You get run over by anybody or anything?
No.
Never. Okay. Jonathan, what's the most exciting thing ever happened to you out there?
Well, the one time I like running with the tornadoes on the field, and the one time I forgot to tee out in the field, then I had to run out real quick on the next play to get to tee.
Nearly got bowled over, huh? Well, you guys do an important job out there, and Jazz and all the coaches are very proud of you, and that's why we have you on the TV. Thanks, guys.
We're here tonight with the two Breakfast Club winners from the Donegal area game last week. We have the game player of the game of last week, which was Tony Mazzatesta, which is very familiar to you since he was the player of the game a couple of times before this. And we have, I don't know what to ask you anymore, Tony. Let me see. You've gained almost 500 yards so far in 5 games, which is just about 100 yards a game. Is there anything you do special before each game, or any goals you have set for yourself on an individual game, or do you just go out there and use your natural talent every time?
Winning is the most important thing. Other than that, it comes by itself.
You just have it in your legs. You don't have to think about it. It just comes, huh?
Win.
Everybody would like to have that. I want you to know that. We have with us the lineman of the game, and this is one of our better ones, the offensive lineman. We have Doug Greco. Doug, you were talking to us this morning about how your whole unit seems to think and act as one. You feel that the confidence and the togetherness is your main attribute right now.
Yeah, and that's really the concept of the line. We don't get much ink, but we lift together and we work out together and work together all summer, and we're still lifting together 3 nights a week, and I think it's really shown in our games.
The line play, especially in the last couple of games, has been noticeable to everybody in the stands. I mean, we can see you guys moving out. Everybody sees your numbers now. Let me ask you, you have the addition of Coach Patello this year, in addition to your other coaches. Has he been that much of an advantage, you think, to you as a line coach?
Oh yeah, the very first day we sat up in the bleachers before doubles, and he said Mount Carmel Lions have never gotten any credit, and we're going to have a good one. And he said people are going to start noticing it in the stands if you just do what he says and work hard. And he said we'd hate him the first 2 weeks, but then we love him the rest of the season, and that's about right. And we're glad when people compliment us. It's really satisfying.
Well, you're doing an outstanding job. Tony, what do you predict for tonight now? We're going to win this one?
Ask me tonight.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to go up to Bob now in the booth, and he'll have the homecoming ceremonies, which will begin shortly.
Thanks, Warren. And welcome, everybody, to tonight's 1989 Mount Carmel area homecoming ceremonies. We'd like to introduce the candidates for tonight's homecoming, and the first is Carolyn Matakaitis of 50 South Walnut Street, Mount Carmel. She's escorted by number 50, Doug Greco. She's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Charles Matakaitis. Her activities include color guard, basketball, include Key Club, Future Teachers of America, Stand Tall, the Spanish Club, the Operetta, the Chorus, the Biology Club, and the Prom Committee. She plans to attend a 4-year college and law school. Our next candidate is Susan Mazurkevich. She's of 326 North Maple Street in Mount Carmel. She's escorted tonight by Alan Kovaleski, number 83. She's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. John Mazurkevich. Her activities are cheerleading, pep club, ski club, Future Teachers of America, vice president of the class during her sophomore and junior years, Stand Tall, student council, news staff, track, and biology club. She plans to attend a 4-year college. And now the senior candidates. Our first one is Susan Humphrey. Susan's of 713 Chestnut Street in Coltmont. She's escorted tonight by number 55, Bob Delbo. She's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Michael Humphrey. Her school activities include basketball, track, assistant basketball coach for the Mount Carmel area 7th and 8th grade girls, pep club, key club, Spanish club, secretary of the class during her junior and senior years, treasurer of student council for the last 3 years, treasurer of Future Teachers of America, Future Nurses of America, Prom Committee, Stand Tall member, sports editor of the news staff, and the 1988 Homecoming and Field Day courts. She plans to attend Geisinger Medical Center School of Nursing. Our next senior candidate is Michelle Tostanowski of 428 North Chestnut Street, Mount Carmel. She's escorted tonight by number 14, Dave Weslowski. She's the daughter of Bernard Tostanowski and Catherine Vaughn. Her activities include student council, Stand Tall, Prom Committee, and the Field Day Court as a junior. She plans to become a counselor for abused women and children. Our third senior candidate for tonight is Kim Yastashak of 217 North Park Street, Mount Carmel. She's escorted tonight by number 34, Tony Mazzatesta. She's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. John Yastashak. Her school activities include corresponding secretary of the student council, the ski club, winter and spring track, cheerleading, pep club, news staff, Latin club, prom committee, and a member of the homecoming court as a junior. She plans to attend a 4-year college. Tonight, Dave Fantini will be crowning the 1989 homecoming queen. It's Susan Humphrey. Susan, again, from 713 Chestnut Street in Coltmont, Pennsylvania. Presenting the flowers are number 50, Doug Greco, and crowning the queen, number 32, Dave Fantini.
The escort will present a gift to the queen and members of the court.
The senior football escorts are now presenting a gift to the court of Susan Humphrey. And that about concludes things for the 1989 homecoming ceremonies. We'll be back with Bob Elsa and Warren Aldemore to do the play-by-play in just a few moments. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mount Carmel Area Silver Bowl for tonight's Eastern Conference Southern Division matchup between the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes and the Marian Colts. Warren, it looks like it'll be a barn burner tonight.
Two good teams once again. Marian has played Mount Carmel tough 2 years straight, and they are expecting big things this year again.
Again, both teams are 4-1 coming into this game, and it looks like we could have a good one. Starting lineups for tonight's game, For the Marian Colts, at end, number 85, Jamie Whalen. At left tackle, number 62, Brian Stelma. At left guard, number 58, Justin Gigley. At center, number 67, Bill Gill. At right guard, number 55, Mike Hozak. At right tackle, number 57, Justin Hackenberg. At tight end, number 83, Scott Kane. At quarterback, number 1, Joe Marcillo. At running back, number 39, Joe Gillespie. At fullback, number 24, Mark Herbick. At flanker back, number 10, Mike Makovic. And the head coach, Stan Dick. We'll get to Mount Carmel's offensive starting lineup in 1 minute. We're getting ready for kickoff here tonight, and the Colts will be kicking off to the Red Tornadoes. Beautiful night for football, Warren.
Yes, it is. It's perfect. There was a threat of rain earlier in the day, but it seems to be have cleared up very nicely right now.
Kicking off for the Colts is Mark Herbick. Herbick lets a short kick fly, taken by number 32, Fantini, and he breaks it up the middle. He goes to the 40, to the 50, stumbles a little, brought down on about the 43-yard line. A beautiful run back by Dave Fantini.
Very close to breaking that for a touchdown. Very close.
A great start for the Tornadoes.
Mount Carmel lineup on offense will be left end Alan Kowaleski, left tackle Bob Double, left guard Scott Vitero, center Jeff Costello, right guard Mike Machuzak, right tackle Doug Greco, right end John Quinn. Of course, Wisłowski at quarterback. He'll be backed up by Mazzatesta, Fantini, who starts in and out of the game. Chicatano took that handoff. He was the flanker back, number 21.
Good for about a 4-yard gain there, Warren.
Quick opener up the middle. We've seen that play many times in the last 4 or 5 games. It's interesting to see what Mount Carmel will do tonight. I talked with Coach Jazz before the game, and he seemed to feel that we would see the option, but maybe not quite as much as we saw it last week. Wisłowski back to pass.
Just falls incomplete there to Marcus Startzel. He got open out there, and
yeah, I think
it looks like he slipped as he made his cut over there.
He fell down just as the ball was coming to him, and he had no chance to make the play.
Definitely not one of the larger teams we've faced this year, Warren.
No. Now they're more our size here. Wisłowski's back to pass again. Pass was intended for John Quinn. Just missed John. John had to turn around to make the catch and wasn't able to do so. Mount Carmel opens with 2 passes here in the first 3 downs, which is surprising for us. We usually grind it out. I think we're just trying to feel the Marian Colts out right now and see what they're doing on defense.
4th down, and Jamie Bolick in to punt for the Red Tornadoes. Deep, number 24, Mark Herbick, and number 88, Joe Richards, deep for the Colts. Nice snap. Bolick has an end-over-end punt. Hits and takes a Marian bounce, and down right about the 15-yard line is where it was touched. They'll move it up to about the 16, where Marian will take over their first possession offensively from about the 16-yard line. The Colts are 0-3 against the Red Tornadoes. Mount Carmel won in 77, 50-12, and in 1987, 27-6. Nice running play there by number 39, Joe Gillespie. Good for about a 9-yard gain. And last year in 1988, it was a close game. It was 14-6 up at Marian. Second down for the Colts from about the 25-yard line. 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Gillespie up the middle again. Good for about a 5-yard gain and a Marian first down on about the 32-yard line. We have word from Coach Dick earlier in the game that number 10, Makovic, would not be playing, and we do not see him in there. Makovic has been a big part of the Colts offense this year so far.
Yes,
also.
He's a key player. It's a shame if he's lost for the game in the season as they thought. Startzel made the stop. Startzel made a good hit there. Filled the hole nicely.
Gain of about 4 yards for the Colts. 2nd down and 6. This is the same offense they used against Pottsville in the first half of Pottsville's game, where it was just a grind it out, and then they went to a long pass. Here's the pass play. Complete
that.
to number 88, Joe Richards. Richards appears to be the person in there playing flanker back instead of Makovic. Marcillo pitches back, and Tornadoes hold him, but it looks like he might have fallen forward for the first down.
Depending where they put the mark on this, it's going to be very close to a first down. Again, Marian's offense looks very much like Mount Carmel Area's when you look at them both on the field. They employ the tailback and fullback exclusively. You'll see the tailback many times taking a pitch and coming over that tackle and between the tackle and the end spot, the same as you'll see Mazzatesta on our side all the time.
They're only on their own 42-yard line, and we'll have to see what Coach Dick plans here.
My guess is that Marian's going to go for this on a fourth down early in the game. It's a bit of a gamble. They replaced only one player, number 44, and came into their lineup, Rafferty. I'm assuming he'll be a fullback. He is. He's lined up in the backfield. They have a full backfield now in what can be a wishbone setup.
He drew him offside with the count.
Marian Catholic shifted at the last moment, and I guess out of the corner of Mount Carmel lineman eyes, he saw
the
move.
shift.
And
the 5-yard penalty against the Red Tornadoes brings up a first down for the Marian Colts from their own 47-yard line. Marcillo hands off to Gillespie, and he only gains about a yard on that play. Nice stop made in there on the bottom by 55 Delbo.
Delbo and Fantini are on a stop. Fantini had made good penetration as usual.
Second down and 9. Number 24, Herbeck,
Good stop.
goes
by
around
Swaldy
the left
on that.
side, and Swaldy held his ground over there, but then he had help back in there from Quinn, and also 44 Jamie Bullock was in there also.
One of these two quarterbacks, now we've not seen the other quarterback. We understand he's hurt. One of them is the better passer, and I'm not sure which one it is here.
Pass broken up by number 14, Dave Weslowski. He took number 21, Lou Hirochik, out, and also the referee.
Yeah, everybody went down on that play. We have almost an all Shamokin crew working the game tonight, except for Frank D'Angelo's from Hazelden. But we also, from Shamokin, have Bob Probart, Ed Romanowski, George Dorko, and Charles Bartle, all from Shamokin, refereeing the game tonight.
Colts back on fourth down, the punt. Flag on the play. Nice kick taken by Bobby Schick. Hands off to Mazzatesta going around the right side, and he stopped right there on the 20-yard line. 5-yard penalty against the Colts for illegal procedure, and they'll have to punt over again. Brings a chance up for Mazzatesta or Chicatano to get a little better run back on this play.
Yeah, that's why we accepted the penalty. We didn't get any run back on that punt.
Nice booming, spiraling punt.
Yeah, we're not going to get one on this one
Chicatano's
either.
head, and might go out of bounds on about the 7-yard line.
Nice kick. Very nice kick.
Number 24, Mark Herbeck, kicking the ball for the Colts and putting the Tornadoes deep in their own territory.
Mazzatesta gets the ball coming up the middle. He fumbled. Mount Carmel will recover. I think Alan Kovaleski's on the ball. The ball just shot out of his hand. He must have caught a helmet there. It bounced right to Alan Kovaleski, luckily, and he recovered. That's going to bring up a second and about 13 for Mount Carmel area.
Is it time for the Red Tornadoes' patented play, or will that come up on third down?
Third down if they're going to use it. They're in dangerous territory right now. Fantini and Mazzatesta in the backfield.
Maz right up the middle.
Straight up the middle, a nice conservative play there. This is bringing up the big third down for Mount Carmel area.
Red Tornadoes have a nice crowd here tonight.
Well, this will be an interesting call, Bob, down deep by our own goal line is what we're going to do here.
Third down and 10. Mazatesta's the deep back with Startzel in the fullback position.
Kozlowski's back to pass.
Oh, and he's got Quinn.
Oh, yes.
Good for the Tornado first down.
Nice pass. Great reception. Nice looking play all around that deep in the end zone.
I'll tell you what was great there. Wes was not afraid to throw the ball, and Jazz was not afraid to call that play.
Yeah, that was a pretty gutsy call, being that close to your own goal line. But that shows the kind of confidence he has in Wes and his receivers, for that matter. Ball's just over the 25-yard line of Mount Carmel area. Kozlowski has Fantini, and he gives it to Fantini.
Good for about a 4-yard gain.
Fantini comes over left tackle.
4:16 remaining in this first quarter with the ball resting right about on the 30-yard line. Marian Colts have been out for the last 3 years to try to beat Mount Carmel, and it's like a vengeance game. This is their game of the year.
Split backs. Option play. West keeps it. First down.
Blocking has really been good. That offensive line has just dramatically improved week after week.
Mount Carmel area is really executing the option play perfectly at the moment. There's an
Flag on
offside.
the play.
As far as Marian goes, they have a strong, very strong athletic program in that school, and especially in football. They try to play the best teams that they can, regardless of their size, just like we do. And they're steeped in tradition. They've had some great backs and some great teams over the years, and I know that it grates on them that they have not beaten us yet, although it's only been a 3-game series. I know that they'd dearly love to walk away with a win here tonight.
3:18 remaining in the first quarter. The ball right about on the 45-yard line.
Option play, pitches back to Mazatesta.
Good.
Mazatesta picks up the first down, gained about 7 yards. Mount Carmel's up to midfield now after starting on their own 7-yard line, so they've got themselves a nice little drive put together so far. Hand out to Startzel. He picks his way for 4 yards.
This is all they have to do, too. The Tornadoes, if they keep running it up the middle like this, and there again, now they went on the left side of the line over Machuzak, Greco, and Quinn, and you keep that up long enough, you're going to open up a receiver somewhere along the line.
Well, that's Mount Carmel's game. I mean, it always has been. And with Mazatesta and Startzel and Fantini as the running backs, it's just much easier to execute like that. They have so many weapons and so many ways to use them right now that teams find it very difficult to defense us. The option play and keeper gain about a yard on the play.
3rd down and 6 situation for the Red Tornadoes. Timeout. It's an official timeout on the play. 3rd down and 6. Another flag on the play.
A lot of movement on that play. Marian was changing their defense at the last moment, and Mount Carmel had a legal procedure. Those little mistakes can kill you. You're marching down the field, and all of a sudden, bang, you're at 3rd and 10 now.
Well, we saw them last week, and we played through them, so we'll see what happens this week. Kozlowski back to throw.
Oh, he's got intercepted. Number 1 intercepted the ball. Marsilio
played a very deep safety on that play. He just stayed back there looking like he was waiting for the long bomb pass, and he was back there to intercept it. Nice play by him. 1st down and 10 for the Colts with 1:14 remaining in the first quarter. Marcillo has Gillespie and Herbick in the backfield. Handoff up the middle to Gillespie. He's taken down in there by number 10, Shedleski, and the initial hit made by number 36, Marcus Startzel.
Well, Startzel's off to another good start in this game. He just seems to be everywhere back there from his linebacking spot.
Second down and about 7 for the Colts with 35 seconds remaining in this first period. It's a timeout on the play. It's an official's timeout for an equipment adjustment. This first quarter has been built up to what we expected, Warren. Herbert carries the ball, brought down by number 36, Startzel again. They're trying real hard to run it right up the middle of our defense.
Yeah, I said they don't try to finesse you. There's no faking going on in there. They're just going to come right at you with those two big backs.
And that's it for the first quarter with the score of the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 0, the Marian Colts 0. We're back in here. Startzel, up to this point, has a total of 40 tackles.
Right up the middle
Right
again.
up the middle again. Initial hit made in there by number 14, Weslowski. Pass complete to number 88, Joe Richards. Good for about a 4-yard gain. Marsilio looks like he might be the throwing quarterback.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's...
The next closest tackler on the Mount Carmel defense to Startzel is Bob Delbo. He has 32. Big run there by Gillespie. Brought down by number 53, Fantana Rosa.
They're just coming straight up the middle of Mount Carmel defense. They're trap blocking Fantini and Delbo in there and moving, off to whatever side they're not on. Mount Carmel's going to have to tighten up the middle of this line.
Marsilio back to pass. Hits his receiver, Richards, over there again. Brought down by number 10, Shedleski. Colts will have about a second down and 4.
Those passes are very difficult to the defense. He's rolling out and throwing very quickly. You have to be right on your man to try and stop a pass like that. And if he's going to stay as accurate as he is, he's going to be difficult to stop.
And the thing you have to watch is that that guy doesn't bring you out there and then all of a sudden break it up for a long gainer.
Good play.
Big hit in there.
Good play that time.
Weslowski came in. Delbo was on the bottom of the pile.
Delbo, I think, was the key to that play. He hit the guard who was pulling away and dropped him in the backfield, and the back ran right into him, which stopped the entire play.
Third down and 3 for the Colts with 9:38 remaining in the first half. Marsilio brings the Colts up to the line. Ball's right about on the 30-yard line. Colts used a lot of motion. They came over the right side of the line there with actually 3 backs. That was the third back through that hole.
That's nothing but a wedge play is all that comes out to be. They put 2 big fullbacks in. They moved 44 right to the back side of his guard. And as soon as the ball snapped, they all run to the same hole. And the end back who has the ball just picks wherever the opening is and goes through.
Fumble on the play. Marsilio falls on it. It'll be about a 2-yard loss.
That's the second or third time he's bobbled the ball, and this time he just plain dropped it. I don't know. He's having a little trouble with his center snap right now. It's a loss of a yard on the play. Ball's on about the 27-yard line.
Herbert carries the ball. Good for about a 4-yard gain as the Hill crowd over on the Hills keeps yelling defense, defense.
Yeah, they get into the game
They've
over
been
there,
in the
that's for sure.
They were in the last week's game, and they're definitely getting into tonight's game early. Colts have the ball for a third down and about 7 yards. Ball sits right on the 28-yard line of the Red Tornadoes.
Big play here at 3rd and 7. Big play for the Mount Carmel defense.
Marsilio rolling this side. Oh, in there was Delbo, but he is brought down.
Brought down well short of the first down. He should gain about a yard after all of that's over.
Alan Kovaleski made the tackle.
Startzel and Fantini had made great penetration along with Delbo.
Fourth down for the Colts, and I'm sure they're going for it.
Yeah, 4th and 5 down this deep.
They split them this side, and I think you're going to see the rollout probably to the left
hit
here.
that guy on the sideline. Here
it comes. It's coming this side, but Schwalde's in there.
Fumble
on the play.
Fumble on the play.
Picked up. Oh.
Good play by Tom Schwalde. Great play.
Schwalde made a great play, and then the ball was recovered by Startzel, and really he had the opportunity to pick the ball up and run it for a touchdown.
If he could have stayed on his feet, he could have gone all the way in.
He pulled a muscle in his knee or something, and he had the opportunity to make it all the way.
Waslowski brings them up. 1st and 10. Mazzatesta picks up 3 yards. That play we saw with Chickatano streaking down the sideline, if we remember from last week, I had said that they had ran that play several times, but have always gone to the short back, sending Chickatano streaking down the sideline. That time, if you saw, Waslowski did the exact same thing, only he faked to the short back, froze the defensive backs, and that allowed Chickatano, who was moving down the sideline, to become free. Fantini right up the middle, big hole. Big hole.
This is it.
He could go all the way.
Touchdown. Red Tornadoes.
Fantini. Nice play. Nice play.
Big hole right over Costello, Scott Vitero, and Machuzak.
Yeah, that time Mount Carmel got the job done, certainly.
Waslowski putting on the kicking shoe, and Shidleski will hold for the snap.
If you remember last week, we discussed whether that was a called extra point attempt. Actually, it was a called play to fake the kick.
It's up, and it's good.
The score with 6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Mount Carmel area 7, Marian Catholic nothing. As I was saying, we were discussing whether that extra point attempt was planned last week. It was a planned play. They noticed on the line that Donegal had lined up in a formation that they thought they could beat for the 2 points. But what made it look odd was that the ball was centered at a different time than some of the team thought it was supposed to, which is why we thought it might have been just a mistake. But that was a planned play called at the line of scrimmage. And we'll see that again depending on how the opposing team lines up for that extra point attempt.
If the opposing team is really tight with all their players, you'll see Wes possibly calling that play. Waslowski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes, and the ball goes out of bounds and a flag on the play. After the 5-yard penalty, Waslowski will be kicking off for the Red Tornadoes from the 35-yard line. Nice spiraling kick. Brought up by number 28, Rich Miller. Miller carried the ball nice and brought down in there by
Mike Kogut is down for Mount Carmel area right now.
Kogut made the tackle.
He's holding his knee down there.
And the Colts take over the ball on about the 38-yard line. Nice play for the Red Tornadoes on that touchdown. People still humming down in front of us here about the touchdown run. Ball carried in there by number 44, Brian Rafferty.
Kovaleski made the stop for Mount Carmel area from his end position.
Good for about a 3-yard gain. Colts will have a 2nd down and 7. Back up the middle again.
Good stop that time. Good play that time.
24, Herbick was carrying the ball. Down under the bottom of the pile there is number 55, Bob Delbo.
We have Machuzak on a stop also on that play. Now Mount Carmel's tightened up considerably from the first couple of series here. It's now 3rd and 5.
An official timeout there for the Marian Colts. They need an equipment adjustment. Colts come up to the line with 4:52 remaining in the first half. Ball right about on their own 44-yard line. Handoff on an inside handoff, read very nicely by number 36, Marcus Startzel. And he's back in there and looks like his leg's okay, and he's working well.
He didn't miss a beat so far. He read it perfectly. The play was jammed up by Fantini. to begin with, and that made it move a little slower than it should have, and Startzel came in and made the stop, and they actually lost a little bit of yardage on the play, which brings up 4th down and 6, and Marian Catholic will have to kick.
Deep for the Red Tornadoes, 34 Mazzatesta and 21 Chicatano. Coming to Chicatano's side, the ball takes a weird bounce and goes out of bounds right about the 24-yard line. With 4:09 left in the first half, the Red Tornadoes will have a first down on their own 24-yard line. There's a penalty on the play. Offside against the Marian Colts, but it's declined, and the Red Tornadoes will take the ball on the 24-yard line.
I guess Mount Carmel's thinking is they let him re-kick that second time the last time around, and he boomed the 40-yarder and put it out of bounds on the 7. They weren't going to take that same chance.
Well, he is an erratic punter. He kicks one really long and great, and then the next one comes off, at an angle. So
yeah,
we've seen one great kick and 2 not-so-good kicks.
Kozlowski pump fakes. He let the ball go at the last second there before he hit the ground. Ball will fall incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 from Mount Carmel area.
Everybody was covered pretty well on that play, too.
I think he had a little trouble there when he was deciding whether he wanted to run or pass there. Again, that's a design play to pump fake the ball and freeze the defensive backs, but that time he ran out of room on the sidelines and slowed up, and they caught him.
2nd down and 10 with 4:03 remaining in the first half.
Chicatano is split wide right. The ball goes to Fantini up the middle. He stopped for just about no gain that time.
Number 55 on the spot for Marian, Mike Kozak.
Marion's a tough defensive team.
Well, they're a lot like Mount Carmel. They're about the same size, the same kind of quickness, and put two teams like that together, and it makes for a tough ball game. I think Mount Carmel's feeling is looking at the tape from last week's Lord's game where the Lord's quarterback passed for almost 300 yards passing, which is almost unheard of in high school ball, that they probably can pass on Marian. And here we have Wisłowski back to try just that.
Had Quinn there, and Quinn got the ball.
Quinn right on the sideline there. A good bullet of a pass that time.
It's going to be a 4th down for the Red Tornadoes, probably about 4th down and 4. 3:18 remaining in the first half, and Jamie Bullock comes into the Tornadoes lineup to do the punting.
Well, that was a nice pass. It didn't pick the first down, but Wisłowski had a lot on that ball, and he threw it the only place he could have without it being intercepted, which is a good pass.
Bullock has a nice high kick, taken by number 88 Richards, and brought down in there by 4 Tornadoes.
Now you're going to see Swaldy, Belfani get off that pile. Chicatano was down there. Vitero. Chicatano was down first and slowed him up a second, and that let the time for the other guys to come in and give him a good whack, put him down. Well, as much it is a trademark that they run punts back, it's also their trademark that the other team never runs them back.
That's
right. You don't see punts or kickouts run back for a touchdown against Mount Carmel.
Herbert carrying the ball around the right side. Oh, nice pop in there.
He's met solidly in
number
in
10, Shedleski.
Shedleski and Startzel.
2:44 remaining in the first half, and the ball sits right about on the 45-yard line.
After that first series, Mount Carmel defensively has really toughened it up a little bit. There doesn't seem much room at all there for Marian Catholic at the moment.
Here's Marsilio with that little pass out to Richards, and he drops the ball. Knocked out of bounds.
Well, he had him open, and he hit him. He just dropped the ball. It's as simple as that. And that's the second time he's done that so far tonight. I think the other thing you got to look at, he might be hearing someone charging up from behind him, which
Joe Darrett
gives you a good reason maybe to be concentrating on something else.
Number 21,
2:19 remaining in this first half. It's been an exciting first half. Both teams playing aggressive defensive football. Marsilio back there was holding on the play, and I think the official caught it. As Fantini, our little rock,
He was
broke
in there,
through.
yeah.
All you could see was his shirt being dragged back. So I'm sure it's a holding call against the Colts.
It's holding against the Colts, and I'm not sure what Mount Carmel's going to do there because I think he lost about 4 yards on the play anyway.
It's declined,
Yeah, I
just
thought
like
they
you
would.
thought.
Yeah, that was a lost play anyway, so no reason to take the penalty. You're going to force him to kick it on 4th down now. And as we've said before,
What happened here is the down marker was on the other side. That's all wrong now. They have to straighten that out.
Straightened out. The down marker's in the wrong spot. The pass was caught down around the 35-yard line, and he's 10 yards off it.
That's right. He moved it.
Yeah, he needs to come back. But that brings up 4th and 14 for Marian Catholic.
2:11 remaining in the first half, and still a lot of time for these Red Tornadoes to move the ball downfield.
Nearly
Nice
blocked.
kick. Fair catch called by Bobby Chicatano on the 34-yard line. So with 2:05 remaining in this first half, the Mount Carmel offense will take over and give it a shot at trying to get her down.
Belfani and Vitero gave a shot at blocking that kick that time. They were very close, and that's why you saw the fair catch. Mount Carmel was in a block situation and didn't set up for a run back. Waslowski brings him up, and I'm assuming that with 2:05 left and a lead here, we could see some passing going on here.
Chicatano and Quinn to the short side of the field.
And there we have Waslowski drops back to pass. Chicatano picks up about 8 yards on the play. He'll come out of bounds about the 43-yard line.
Nice pass play that time. They sent 38 John Quinn deep, and Bobby Chicatano cut inside of him.
That's the opposite.
Right. Two of them went down. That's the opposite play there of where Chicatano goes deep.
Yeah,
and
you've been
Quinn
watching
makes
that play
the
now for 2 or 3 games, and now they've just switched it around and made Chicatano the short back.
And everybody went with Quinn. It did open it up for Bobby to catch that ball. Nice pass by Waslowski.
He's right on the money. He really is. He looks very sharp tonight. Again, this is the second week in a row where he looks really sharp.
2nd down and 1, 2 minutes left in the first half.
Back to pass. He has Chicatano deep.
Marsilio just stays there, though. He's playing a very, very long safety. It's unbelievable where he's standing back there.
Yeah, that's what his job is, really. He seems to be keying on Chicatano, the fastest man out of the backfield here, and he's keeping his eye on him, and he's been in perfect position 2 times. Again, if he wasn't, that would have been a completed pass because Wes had it right on the mark.
3rd down and 1 for the Red Tornadoes, 1:54 remaining in the first half. Ball's on about the 43-yard line as the Tornadoes come up to the line. And on that play, the old wedge that's been working so well for the last couple weeks, Waslowski brings up the 1st down.
As we said, I think it's impossible to stop them for a yard or 2 when they're in that formation. They execute that play perfectly.
This would be a nice drive for the Tornadoes to get in here.
Inside, reversed handoff.
And he's
gone.
open.
He's
He's
gone.
gone.
Touchdown.
Tony Mazzatesta, and it's becoming a patented play, isn't it?
That was a pretty play. That really
Beautiful run.
They ran that play several times, handing the ball to Chicatano. He would cut back and go up the middle. That time they brought Mazzatesta close by him, running the opposite direction. He handed off quickly, and he went untouched. There was no one. They completely fooled the entire Marian defense.
And when Tony Mazzatesta gets out in that much open territory, he's going to the end zone. You know it.
Those little legs were just churning as they went by.
1:22 left in the half, and they got their 2nd score in. Waslowski kicking the ball for the Red Tornadoes. Shedleski holding. Kicks up, and it's good.
Mazzatesta picked up his 6th touchdown on the season now.
With 1:22 remaining in the first half, the score, the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 14, the Marian Colts 0. Waslowski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. Nice high spiraling kick. Taken by number 24, Herbeck. He comes to the left side of the field.
Oh, there it
Popped
is.
beautifully by number 21.
Chicatano had the first hit,
and the 2nd hit
Fantini
by number 47, Jason Fantini.
Oh, they
gotta say Jason. You can't,
Jason.
Let's not give all the credit. Right. Rocco Chicatano hurt on that play for the Red Tornadoes, but he came off under his own power and looks pretty good down on the sideline.
Yeah, it's pretty
1:08
tough
remaining in the first half. The Colts have the ball on about the 32-yard line. Handoff to Gillespie, and he gains about 4 yards, but they really have tightened up the Mount Carmel defense in there in the middle and appear not to be letting that play go for too much. That one went pretty good, but the last couple plays have been stopped.
They're not running like they were in the beginning. I was about to say with Rocco Chicatano, I don't think he can hurt a guy named Rocco. Can you do that?
No.
Not a guy named
No.
Rocco, no.
So we have Rocco and the Little Rock. Incomplete. That's that same pass, though. They try to roll out either right or left, a short receiver, and they try to hit him. I think we're going to see that guy break long any one of these times now, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There's no trailing back there. They all came out, and they're all on the sideline. There's no one running deep on either side.
Third down for the Colts, 35 seconds left in the first half. Chicatano playing a deep safety right now. Ball handed off up the middle. I missed the number. 44. Brian Rafferty was carrying the ball.
64, Kogut made the stop.
Good for a Marian first down.
And Kogut's getting a little bit of playing time tonight here on the first team.
Timeout for the Marian Colts with 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
30 seconds left in the half now. First and 10 for the Marian Catholic.
Marcilio back. Here's the long one we were talking about. He lets one fly just out of the reaches.
Nice pass, but Greco was right on it. And there is exactly what we were talking about. They faked that little sideline pass and ran him straight down the sideline, which I knew they were sooner or later going to have to try.
We have a timeout. It's an official timeout just to get the officials were trying to move the Marian band back off the sideline a little bit. Chicatano again in the deep safety position. Waslowski and Joe Greco deep. Marcilio, I'm sure, is going to throw a long one on this one again. But no, it's a handoff inside. Read very nicely by number 36, Marcus Startzel. And also, there's somebody else in there. I don't want to miss that number, but it was John Quinn.
That's a
great
strange
stop
call.
in there.
Strange call, I thought. I wonder what we were thinking about on that call for Marian.
Third down Colts, 3rd and 9, 16 seconds left in the first half. Marcilio's back again. The line's getting in there, and they hit him nicely in there.
Yeah, he didn't get a good pass off there.
Broke that play up great. The Fantini was in there. Kogut was in there. Delbo was in there. Have to give credit to everybody, and there was at least three shirts
they
in
were
there.
all there. That's he kept almost everybody back to protect that time, and he only had 2 men out on the pattern, and they still got to him.
Herbeck back to punt.
Now this is very odd. They're in a punt position
think
with
they
10 seconds left, and they're kicking, and that's an odd call. That really is. I'm confused by that. 4th down and 10 with 10 seconds to go. I would have went for a long pass and ended the half.
Well, even the Tornadoes did not. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, we have a flag down.
What did happen though there also? You had Waslowski and Chicatano and Joey Greco back. Now they're going to run the ball.
Yeah, they decided not to kick.
All right.
Very, very strange set of circumstances.
That was for the ending of the half. That's the end of the first half. The score, the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 14, the Marian Colts nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special halftime feature tonight. We're going to take you down memory lane for a moment. I know that if you're a Mount Carmel area football fan, you're certainly going to remember this night as much as I do. Now picture yourself 20 years ago tonight, 1969. You're in Harmon Guy Stadium. Remember the stadium, cold, very dark. We're playing West Hazelden High School, and we're going to, if we can win, we'll clinch the Southern Division crown. Now it's 0-0, and with about 10 seconds to go in a half, Coach Nimitz calls the timeout, goes onto the field, talks to his men in the huddle, as he's done 100 times before that. He comes off, he goes to the sidelines, the play's called, handoff goes to number 33. Gary Dimnick. He breaks over the line, runs for 69 yards and a touchdown. That breaks the game wide open. We come back in the second half. He runs for 210 yards total in the game, scores three TDs on his own. That's the game. Mount Carmel wins, beats West Hazelden. We clinch another Southern Division championship behind Gary Dimnick. Now, in that game, he rushed for 210 yards. In his whole career, he rushed for 6,000 total yards. Think about that, 6,000 yards. He scored 76 TDs on his own. He had 38 touchdowns as a senior alone and rushed for 2,099 yards as a senior. Now, those numbers are mind-boggling, but remember this. This is back in 69, 70, 71, the golden era. This is when Mount Carmel went 43-3. Won, how was it, two Southern Division championships on the year, or three? Two Southern Division championships. Ladies and gentlemen, a Mount Carmel area football legend, Gary Dimnick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good to have you here tonight.
Thanks, it's thrilled to be here.
Those numbers are mind-boggling even now, 20 years later. I can still, I was just a kid back then, but I can remember you running, and I think every time you touched the ball, you were gaining 10, 15, 20, and then down the sidelines you were gone. And I think every Mount Carmel fan remembers you, especially the way you ran, the quick hit at the line, the little juke move before the linebacker, and you were gone. So it's really good to have you here tonight.
It's enjoyable to be here. A lot of people think of the big numbers. They think every time I touched the ball, I went for 30, 40 yards. That wasn't true. I had enough losses, but was fortunate enough to have enough of the big ones. That takes the guys around you. Like any good back will admit, you've got to have the people up front and the support people. We had some great teams back then, a lot of pride, a lot of tradition. We worked for what we got.
Well, I'd say it's 6,000 total yards. You weren't caught in the backfield very often, that's for sure. We remember you as going on to play at Notre Dame University and had a distinguished career there. Where are you at right now? What's going on in your life?
Right now I'm up in living outside of Burlington, Vermont. I've been there about 9 years now. I'm a project manager for a construction company. I have 3 kids. Not old enough yet to play football, but we're looking forward to it. I have 2 boys and a girl.
How do they look now? You think they have that same kind of talent that you had? Are you able to see any of that in there right now?
There's a few little glimpses of potential.
Then you're going to be moving back to Mount Carmel, I hope, to bring them onto this team.
There's quite a few people that would like me to do that, yes.
It'd be nice to see another Dimnick in that lineup with those flashes of glory again. Well, listen, it was very nice of you to stop by and talk to us, and it was nice for us to be able to remember those great games that you had and the great years that you gave the fans here at Mount Carmel. And listen, good luck in your life, and good to see you and come back often.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Before we begin the second half of play, as is our custom, Joe Gonzalez was very nice to give us the first half statistics. In Mount Carmel, in rushing, we saw Mount Carmel rush 13 times for 119 yards. In the passing department, they were 4 of 9 for 62 yards. Marian rushed the ball 24 times for a total of 63 yards, and they passed also 4 of 9, but only for 5 yards. In first downs, Mount Carmel led 7 first downs to 6. Individual rushing statistics showed Mazzatesta rushed 5 times for 63 yards. Fantini rushed 3 times for 38 yards. Weslowski 3 for 13. Chicatano 1 for 2 yards. And Startzel 1 for 3 yards. In the reception department, Quinn caught 2 passes for 25 yards. Chicatano 2 passes for 37 yards.
Nice high spiraling kick, fumbled by Herbeck. He takes it on about the 5. Brings it up the middle. The initial hit was in there by number 21, Bobby Chicatano.
It's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the second half, especially with the light rain beginning to fall.
Herbeck and Gillespie are in the backfield for the Colts. Hands off to the second back through Herbeck. Only for about a 2-yard gain, and the Tornadoes have really started blocking up that side of the line.
Carmel right now. They got 14 points on the board. It is raining. Marian Catholic is in a tough position right now.
Second down for the Colts. Ball resting right about on the 20-yard line. A handoff to the second back through Herbeck. And good probably for the Colts first down.
Weslowski made the tackle there, and he might have saved a touchdown there.
Herbeck tackled nicely in there by Bob Delbo.
Yeah, he came right through the. Once again, they left the hole open. They pulled the guy out of the way there, and instead of moving down the line, he read it and shot through and had the back right in the backfield. He lost about 2 yards. Mount Carmel's a difficult team to trap because they're so quick. and they're getting such deep penetration. Guys like Fantini and Delbo, they're not standing on the side on the line of scrimmage waiting. They're moving, and you can't trap a moving guy like that. It's very difficult.
Mazzilio with this sideline pattern. That time complete to number 83, Scott Kane. That's the first time they threw to him tonight. They've been throwing to 88 on the other side, Joe Richards.
I think they started throwing to Kane because Richards dropped 3 balls in a row in the first half. I think they had to go to someone else out of necessity on this.
But again, the same play. And again, that's Makovic's spot. That's where he would be playing.
Yeah, the trouble here is that was a 3-yard gain. And that's a difficult. You're not going to catch up with the 3-yard pass play. The Kovaleski made the play that time. He was right in the quarterback's face. He stuck his hand up there, and the quarterback was way off the mark on the pass.
4th down for the Colts from the 30-yard line. 9:57 remaining in the third quarter. Light rain still falling at the Silver Bowl. Herbick back to punt for the Colts. Deep for the Red Tornadoes, Mazzatesta and Chicatano. Kicks away from Mazzatesta again to Bobby Schick. On the reverse, and Mazzatesta has the ball. Brings it up to about the 47-yard line.
Joe Darrett made a great block down there right as the handoff was being made to spring Mazzatesta upfield.
Again, though, Herbick seems to be trying to kick away from Mazzatesta.
He was also under a lot of pressure that time. Kovaleski came very close to blocking that kick.
From that side, making him kick that way, right?
Yeah, he came in to his right side, and he was forced to kick to the left a little bit.
Weslowski looks like he audibles on the line. Handoff to Mazzatesta, good for about a 2-yard gain.
Now, Mount Carmel can be content with trying to gain 10 yards and 3 downs here. They don't have to do anything fancy right now. They got 14 points, and they're going to loom pretty big as this game goes on and the rain continues to fall.
Flag on the play, and it was from the backfield.
I think we're going to have a legal procedure there.
We got a
One of our
procedure
backs
call on the Tornadoes.
moved a little bit too early on the play.
You know, Warren, even with this rain falling, it hasn't affected the Tornado crowd much at all. They're standing around the end zone and a lot of people down in front of us.
Yeah, they're still here. Well, this game is still can be won either way.
Weslowski looks like he changes the play again. Hands off to Mazzatesta around the right side. Good for about a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, he definitely audibled the play at the last moment, and he brought the backfield together. That time they stayed in the defense. They again like this time. They don't move at all now, and you're able to read them better.
3rd down and 6 for the Red Tornadoes. Weslowski rolls left, throws one to Bobby Chicatano, just a little behind him.
He was under a lot of pressure that time.
But again, as this rain continues to fall, there's the possibility of drop balls, both offensively and defensively, on the punt.
Well, this changes the entire complexion of the game now for both teams. You've got to be very careful now.
There's the snap. Bullock has it. Nice spiraling punt. Fumbled by number 89. The whistle had blown, but he still recovered the ball. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter. The Colts have the ball on the 20-yard line. Handoff up the middle to Gillespie, and he's popped.
Good play. Koget's having himself a nice game in here tonight. I'm not exactly sure what the reason he's playing. He hasn't seen this much action in the first 4 or 5 games, but he's having a fine game out there, and he's a big boy.
Second down and 9 for the Colts. 6:40 remaining in the third quarter. Flags on the play.
That's going to go against Marian Catholic.
We have a dead ball offside
Mount Carmel.
against the Red Tornadoes.
You see Belfani in the lineup now, too.
Belfani just came in for Swaldy.
Swaldy better get off the field here. Okay.
Man in motion for the Colts. Just moves to the other side of the line. Masillo on the handoff to Herbick, and he's brought down in the backfield. initial hit back in there by number 64,
Yeah,
Kogut.
He balled the whole play up there. He made deep penetration and turned the back actually all the way around, and then the rest of the line hit him. I'm very impressed with this Kogut kid tonight. He's having himself a heck of a game.
3rd down and 5 for the Colts, and looks like a passing situation for them. 6:08 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Masilio on that rollout again, but he threw that one away.
I would point out Kogut's a freshman. That certainly bodes well for the future.
He made a great play in there on that one play. He broke it up nicely.
Well, we haven't had a chance to see him much, but when you see him now here on the near sideline, he's one big boy. He played himself a nice series in there that time.
Herbeck in punt formation for the Colts. 6:02 left in this 3rd quarter. Mazzatesta and Chicatano deep, and I think we'll watch what how he kicks the ball again. And I'm not sure he's going straight at Chicatano. I think he's just trying to go to a sideline. He keeps angling over at that sideline over there.
Well, see, Mount Carmel continues to put pressure on from his right side.
Right.
The left side is dropping off into a return, so he's kicking away from that rusher, who in this case was Machuzak. The last time it was Kovaleski. They're alternating it. And again, Machuzak was very close to the kick.
1st down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes from the Colts 46-yard line. Brings it back to Chicatano. And about no gain on that play.
No, he's right on the line of scrimmage still. It was good coverage that time. Marian saw that play, and the man did not leave the line of scrimmage, and Chicatano had nowhere to go.
14-0, Red Tornadoes in the 3rd quarter. Mazzatesta on that quick opener. Carries the ball for about 7 yards.
Yeah, that was a nice run there. Good hole. Well, it was nice to see an offensive lineman as the lineman of the game. Up until this week, they were defensive linemen who were coming to visit us in the Breakfast Club. And it was good to see Doug Greco because he's had an outstanding year so far, and he's continuing in this game.
3rd down and 4 for the Red Tornadoes. The pitch back to Mazzatesta. He's in the open field, but he slips. And there's that wet field showing up a little bit right there.
Like I said, it changes the entire complexion of the game now that you cannot cut quite as well as you did. And it's definitely in Mount Carmel's favor.
A lot of them were to Joe Marsilio, the quarterback, and the safety. Oh, a big shift. And there's the wedge, and there's the 1st down.
Marian played that perfectly. They did not jump offside. They stood their ground, and Mount Carmel still picked up the 1st down.
That was a planned play to draw Marian offside, and they didn't go. And then Mount Carmel had to rely on the old wedge, which we were talking about. And with Costello, Machuzak, Votero, Greco, and Delbo, they've just been blowing them out there.
You cannot stop them from gaining 1 or 2 yards. It's just impossible right now. They're playing it too well. That's the first we've seen that shift to try and draw them offside. That's the first time this year they've used that.
Oh, close pass. There's a flag on the play. Personal foul against the Red Tornadoes. 2nd down and 25 for the Red Tornadoes. 3:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And Mount Carmel is doing ball control no matter which way they're doing it. They are holding the ball.
They're going to have to open up a little bit here.
Waslowski drops back, rolling to his right, lets one go to Quinn, and he caught the ball. He caught the ball with a guy hanging all over him.
Yeah, that was defensive interference from start to finish there. The pass is completed, and so there won't be a flag. I think had that pass gone incomplete, we would have saw a late flag fly.
Well,
he
number
was all over him.
88, Richards, he was just all over Quinn on that play, and he just concentrated and made a catch. And we've seen that with John a lot this year. He's been able to, with people hanging on him or like the weird play last week, been able to hold that ball.
Yeah, he's a big, strong player. But
3rd down and about 21.
In high school ball, you won't see that play called that much unless it's an incomplete pass, and you'll see that late flag fly.
Waslowski back again. Looking over this side to Mazzatesta coming out of the backfield. Oh, incomplete.
I thought he had that for 1 second there. He's got a good hit. He took a good, solid hit there.
4th down for the Red Tornadoes. 2:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and Bullock's in punt formation. Flag on the play as Bolick sends a high spiraling kick, taken back there by Joe Richards. We have a motion call against the Red Tornadoes. 4th and 26 for the Red Tornadoes. 2:29 remaining in this third quarter. Bolick takes a snap. They're coming in after the block. Again, a nice kick taken by Richards, and he had his knee down, but they didn't call that one.
Well, we got that off without any flags. Ball went down to about the 20-yard line. There was no return. Actually, I would have thought he would have fair caught that ball instead of the first one. The first one he fair caught, there was no one by him. The second one he tried to run the ball, there was 5 guys standing next to him. So,
first down and 10 for the Colts. 2 minutes left in this third period. Hand off to Herbeck, and the middle is just tightening up in there.
Nice hit.
Second down and 10. Colts are right about on the 20-yard line. He tries the left side, brought down in there by Delbo and again Swaldy over on that side.
Well, as I said, Marian just is not a big play team, and being this far down now, we're coming to the end of the third quarter with just about a minute to go, and they're still running the ball as I said they would in the very beginning, straight up the middle, just trying to pound it down their throat. And with Mount Carmel's defense, you just don't do that. No team has so far, and I don't expect any team to do so for the rest of the year.
Third down and 7. Marsilio brings his team up. He does that little roll pattern again. This time Maher was in there, but Richards catches the ball. Good for a Marian first down. He was poked in there real well, though.
He paid the price for that catch, certainly, with Bolick in there. And that was Richards, I think, his first reception. He's dropped almost everything thrown to him. He finally caught the ball, and they almost killed him when he did.
Well, that's the first time they brought Richards back to the middle. It's been those little 3-yard sideline passes, and it's really the first time he faked that and went back over across the middle. First down for the Colts. There was a fumble. He picked it up. He's rolling out and brought down nicely by 55 Delbo. He actually had him down before he threw the ball.
Now, that's wrong. He was down in the backfield. His knee had touched before he let that ball go. He threw it as he was touching the ground. He threw it to nobody. He threw it out of bounds. So he complicated the thing several times, and there was no call whatsoever by the umpire or referee on that one.
Well, second down and 10 for the Colts from about the 38-yard line. 14 seconds left in this third quarter. Marsilio hands off up the middle and brought down by number 64, Kogut.
There's a flag down, and that's going to go against Marian, illegal motion. The man they sent in motion did not get to the end of this line and set right. They snapped the ball before he was down in the three-point stance, and consequently that's illegal motion. So they're going to bring that back 5 yards.
Second down and 15 for the Colts, and I don't think they'll get this last play off in the third quarter. And they don't. Time runs out.
What he's saying there is that was a penalty, and the time cannot run out while they're in a penalty. They're going to have to snap the ball one more time in the third quarter. That's a good call. That is true.
I think the only thing was, though, one of the officials had started the clock.
Yeah, well, that was
brought down in there by number 36, Marcus Startzel. Good for about a 5-yard gain to end the third quarter. The score, Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 14, the Marian Colts nothing. Marsilio brings the Colts up to the line. They're about on the 40-yard line. He drops back on that little roll pattern. Oh, hit nicely in there. The ball's loose, and he calls it an incomplete pass. I'm not sure.
Well, he's saying his arm was moving forward. It might have been on that, but Kogut once again was in on the stop, and Kogut's having himself a heck of a game for a freshman. I can't believe this.
Herbeck back to punt for the Colts, and he has been erratic. He's putting them all over the place, but seems still to steer him at a sideline. Oh, the Tornadoes tried for a block on that play. Ball rolls down the middle between Mazatesten and Chicatano, and it's down by the Colts. what everybody was yelling about in the stands was Mazzatessa was just standing there watching the ball roll, and somebody took a good shot at him.
It makes you wonder sometimes that he's close enough to touch it, and you don't want him to do that. And all he needs is a good hit from somebody, and he's going to touch the ball and make it a live ball. Again, Mount Carmel seems intent on trying to block this kick, and they continue to rush from one side of the ball all the time, and he just continually kicks from the other side.
11:28 remaining in the fourth quarter. Wesloski sets his team. Hands off to to Fantini. Gain of about 2 yards. That's the play we saw go for a long gainer not too long ago.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Startzel into the lineup for Fantini. Chicatano splits far right and Kovaleski far left. 10:47 on a 2nd down and 10 play for the Red Tornadoes. Here's the pass to Startzel up the middle, and it was broken up in there nicely by number 85 of the Colts, Jamie Wallen. Startzel was open there, Warren.
Yeah, he had the play moving the way it should have, and he had the pass in the air. Kid just made a nice play. He's a tall guy, and he got his hand up there. And, in fact, he's probably the tallest guy in the team aside from Marsilio down there. There's not much you can do about that.
3rd down and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. The ball resting right about on their own 14-yard line. Wesloski pitches back to Chicatano, leads the blocking himself. And Chicatano's brought down on about the 16-yard line. Colts read that play well. Bullock back into the Red Tornado lineup for the punt. 4th down with 10:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. Snaps back, Bullock takes it. Nice high sailing punt. And boy, he's been hitting them nice tonight. Herbeck takes the ball, but he sees a host of Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, they've had some great punt coverage tonight.
Led by Quinn and Bob Belfani.
Marian Catholic will take over on the Mount Carmel side of the 50-yard line, about the 48-yard line. It was a good kick. There was no return.
Nice tackle made in there on number 21, Lou Horocek. Brought down by
that was
number
Delbo.
55, Delbo.
A big double nickel there. He took him head on.
Marsilio drops back, looking deep to his tight end. Ooh, but almost intercepted in there.
He had a good pass, and there was excellent coverage.
By Startzel.
Yeah, I don't think his receiver would have caught the ball, but Kovaleski had great pressure there, and that's what kept that ball from being exactly where he wanted to put it. But there was very good coverage. Both receivers were in the exact same spot, which I think might have been a mix-up there. They shouldn't have been so close together, but either way, he wouldn't have completed it. Mount Carmel area is containing him on those rollouts now. The two ends now are boxing him in, so he can't run the length of the field on a rollout, which is he's pulling up short and then throwing.
3rd down and 7 for the Colts. 9:05 left in this game. Here comes a reverse around this side, and there's double nickel.
Yeah.
Bob Delbo, great play.
They are just difficult plays to run against Mount Carmel. There's just too much penetration there, and it's on every play. You can't run a reverse like that or a deep handoff in the backfield and expect to make yardage. It doesn't work. Mount Carmel's just too fast, and they get too far into the line of scrimmage.
If you look at the Tornadoes' backfield right now, we have a timeout, officials timeout for a ball change. Mazzatesta and Chicatano have shifted to this side, and that's the first time they tried it. Belfani from this side.
Yeah, he got a piece of it.
And he did get a piece of it.
They were just intent on doing it the whole game. They were looking to do it every time.
Right.
And Mount Carmel's going to take over here. There's some argument whether there's a fumble on the play or whatever down there, but the ball was touched. And they're going to give the ball to Marian. It's a fumble.
What a miserable call.
I didn't. There was so many people down there. I didn't get a good look at exactly what happened there, but
Belfani had a piece of the ball when it was kicked, and it must have touched somebody when it was rolling around down there.
Okay, 8:06 left in this fourth quarter, and the Colts come on the line. They're on the Red Tornadoes' 35-yard line. Marsilio makes sure his tight end sets that time. He hands off up the middle to Gillespie, and he's hit nicely in there.
Kogut slowed him up, and Weslowski got a piece on him there, and Delbo got a piece. Bolick's in on him.
This is a big drive for the Colts. They put one in here. They're back in this ball game. Oh, nice tackle in there by number 38, John Quinn. And it just appears when the Tornadoes need that big play, they're getting it tonight.
Yeah, they make it when they have to, that's for sure. There's some kind of play action they're going to try and use here, I'm sure.
They brought number 44, Rafferty, in. Herbig trying to go around the outside. Made a nice cut, but then he never did make it through.
No, he couldn't.
Shedleski just forced him out.
He forced him too wide, and he ran out of room, so he didn't get the first down. It's going to bring up a fourth down. He only gained about a yard. I was going to say 4th down and 3 to go now for Marian Catholic, and this is a key down for them.
Marsilio brings his team up with 6:28 left in this fourth quarter. Handoff right up the middle. They tried that power handoff, and I don't think he made it.
He's close, but I don't know. He had to get to the other side of the 25. And I don't think he did. They're going to probably.
That's it.
I don't think he made it.
Great defensive stand by the Red Tornadoes.
Now that was a big series right there. That's got to take some of the wind out of Marian Catholic's sails right now with 6 minutes to go. And this was the game went about as like the last two have. It's a low-scoring defensive game.
Mazzatesta carries the ball, good for about a 4-yard gain. One thing we have to say about Marian is, again, they played extremely well against Pottsville. Pottsville got a couple breaks to make the score something like 28-7, but really in the first half of the game, they actually played better than Pottsville. We have an official's timeout here for a Colts injury. 2nd down and 5, 5:46 left in this ball game. Weslowski brings his Tornadoes up. Handoff around the end to Fantini. And he slipped down, really, again on that wet grass.
Yeah, he just fell that time. No one really got a piece of him. Well, the game's kind of ground down to everybody running one play off tackle, one play off the other tackle, then one up the middle. We see that strategy from both teams at the moment.
3rd down and 4.
Of course, Mount Carmel's going to do nothing fancy. I mean, they're going to be content to try and grind out 4 yards and a first down here and run the clock down.
Ball's on the 32-yard line. Pitch back to Mazzatesta, and boy, this looks good. Good block. Oh, taken down there. Good for the first down.
Yeah, he had Machuzak out there leading him, and Machuzak made a nice play there. There we had a nice play on Mount Carmel. That's a case of where you pound in the middle, quick handoff, fullback, tailback, quick, and all of a sudden we pitched quick out to the side there and got Marian off a little bit there. They were sleeping on that one side.
Have another helmet problem with the Marian Colts. 4:43 remaining in this game.
That's a big first down. That gives them another 3 cracks and another minute or 2 off the clock by the time they're done.
Mazzatesta and Fantini in the backfield. The Mazzatesta has the ball, breaks it loose. Good for the Tornado
nice
first
play.
down.
He got slowed up that time by the referee. He may have cut around the referee, and that might have cost him a touchdown.
1st down and 10 from the Marian 38-yard line. 4:22 remaining in this ball game. Startzel up the middle. Good for about a 3-yard gain.
Okay, a non-football related item here. For those of you who watched the pregame and maybe the halftime feature, you would have noticed that Bob and I are wearing some very nice WKMC TV pins with a big number 13 on there. We'd like to thank Ann Jepko and Joan Hildebrand for those pins. They look quite professional and are going to spur us on to bigger and better things.
Oh, definitely. KMC's got to move on to prime time one of these days.
And when we get syndicated, we're going to certainly take those two along with us.
Back into the game, Weslowski inside, or it was a quick opener to
Quick
Fantini.
opener right over the center there.
Good for about a 5-yard gain.
Well, it wasn't what you'd call the most exciting Mount Carmel win, but it certainly was a solid win for Mount Carmel here.
3rd down and 4. Weslowski on the option. He got popped.
He took a nice
Mazzatesta
hit.
carries the ball. Probably not good enough for the first down. Just a little bit short. If you hear us commenting about the Hill crowd, we're getting a picture there of them for you right now. They've been wild the last couple games up in there.
There also seem to be multiplying up there.
Definitely. Look at that crowd.
That's a large crowd standing up there.
Just bring the ball up the line after the timeout. Only 2:27 remaining in this ball game, and the defense has played one heck of a game. We're in that becoming famous wedge formation. Hand off to Fantini off of it, really.
Yeah, that's a variation of it where we handed off and he went off tackle, actually.
But another first down for the Tornadoes, and that should about wind it up here.
Yeah, same result, the first down. Going here, seen a good game. I mean, you like to see high-scoring games or close games, you know, with each team driving. But these are two pretty evenly matched teams who met tonight, and the better team executed.
Nice pass to Startzel.
He's still
still running. Knocked out of bounds on about the 11-yard line. But that was a great pass from Weslowski. He put it right on the numbers.
He is tough. And it took about 6 of them to finally take him out of bounds. Colts played a good game. They really did. You can't take anything away from them. They just met a better team tonight.
Weslowski up the middle to Fantini, and he's right about to the 5-yard line.
That's a bread and butter play right there. The two guards in the center make that or break that play, and they're having some excellent blocks out there. Saw Fantini run the ball probably more tonight than he has so far this season.
1:07 remaining in this ball game, and the Tornadoes driving for a final touchdown here. Off to Mazzatesta. He comes off the right side to about the 4-yard line. Jeff Costello coming out of the Tornadoes lineup. Eric Geary's now in at
Jeff
center.
got a nice hand, and he deserves it. He played one heck of a solid game. They're audibilizing right on the line. Weslowski changed the play when he got to the line of scrimmage.
Mazzatesta. Tornadoes touchdown. Nice hole there for the Red Tornadoes.
That was heads-up play by Weslowski. He changed the play at the last moment as he got to the line of scrimmage, and it worked. Whatever he saw, he was able to exploit for a Mount Carmel touchdown.
Weslowski in to try the extra point for the Red Tornadoes. 33 seconds left in the game with that final score of the Red Tornadoes. Flag on the play, and I think you're going to see motion on the part of the, or offside on the part of Marian there. Shidletsky waiting for the snap. Back to Weslowski, who throws a pass to Chicatano. Good for the extra 2 points.
Now
Great play.
There you saw the same play as we did last
That
week.
one was the way it was supposed to be.
He called it on the line of scrimmage. He saw something he liked. He audibilized it. The kicker got centered the ball directly, and he passes.
With 33 seconds remaining in this ball game, the score, the Red Tornadoes 22 and the Marian Colts 0. Weslowski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. 33 seconds left in this ball game. Nice high spiraling kick. Herbig fumbles it, picks it up on about the 11-yard line, spins out of a tackle, and he breaks free. He has Weslowski here, and Wes held it up beautifully.
Good play by Weslowski. Good play. I don't know how the first 3 guys down missed him. I don't know what happened there.
He just kept spinning. He went into some kind of spinning motion.
We got 18 seconds left. You got to know they're going to be passing deep and trying to put it in the end zone at least one time here.
And they go to the sideline to Richards on that same maybe 10-yard pass play.
Yeah, they don't seem to have many other ones. They passed one time in the middle of this field so that I can remember.
And really the only reason it gained the first down on that one was that our backs were back so far that, that pass is open now for 10 yards instead of 3 yards.
Yeah, I said they don't have an offensive scheme where they can throw deep on a lot of different plays.
Marsilio didn't seem to be that bad of a quarterback, though. He brought down in there nicely by number 14, Dave Wislowski. 5 seconds left in this ball game. Thank God. Marsilio back. Looking long. Lets one fly. Chicatano's down there, and he throws it too far. And that's the ball game.
That's the game. Good win. Good solid win by Mount Carmel area tonight against a good Marian team.
The final score.
Wait, we have one moment here. There seems to be a flag on the play.
Well, they're calling a personal foul roughing the passer. They're calling a personal foul roughing the passer on Mount Carmel. And Jazz is having quite a few words right
Coach
now.
Dimmick, on his way over to see the injured player, was able to explain his feelings quite clearly to the referee on his way through. They're going to have a chance at one more play. The game will not end in a defensive penalty, and they are calling a roughing the passer penalty on Mount Carmel area.
Jazz is still having words with that referee.
It's hard to tell. The play took place on the far sideline, and there's a Mount Carmel man still down on the Marian Catholic side. I can't see his number. There's Doc Greco standing in front of him there. I think Shuzak, he was down on the far sideline. He seems okay. He's walking off on his own power. What we have now is that Marian's going to run one more play because there was a defensive penalty, and you can't end the game on that type of penalty. So we're going to see one more pass into the end zone, I'm sure, and that'll be it.
Marsilio dropped straight back. Oh,
He's
great.
down.
They just had a massive rush on there to end the game.
And now I think, yes, that's finally going to be the end of a game. We have a little bit of a scuffle now.
It's more than a little right now.
It's turning into a full-scale scuffle now. I think it's going to be broken up, though. We got all the coaches in there now. That's just typical of the kind of game it was. It was just a hard-fought defensive battle on both sides. We got everybody separated now.
And that about wraps it up for tonight. A nice big win for the Red Tornadoes again.
Well, the game went just about as both coaches thought it would and as we would. The two evenly matched teams. It was a hard-fought defensive battle. 22 points in the score for Mount Carmel, with that last touchdown coming at the very end of the game. And I think what Mount Carmel saw was they got up by 14 points in the first half. The second half we opened up, we had some rain come in. And I think Mount Carmel was pretty much content there to sit on a lead and maybe keep some of those big plays that they could have used if the game was in doubt still, or some of the players that they would have used, and save them for the big game with Pottsville coming up in 2 weeks, and a hard game with North Schuylkill, because that's turned into a bitter rivalry. Next week we have to travel to North Schuylkill and play them away. So I think that's what it was. It was a conservative game plan by Jazz.
We've seen that too, going into the North Schuylkill game after some big wins, where North Schuylkill plays Mount Carmel very tough.
Yeah, well, I mean, over the last 6 or 7 years, it's been that way. And I know that in the back of Jazz's mind, he had to think that. And there's just no reason to open up the whole offense in a game like this when you had a comfortable lead against them.
He has to be impressed with the way his line played again tonight, though. We just saw some really great line play in there. In particular, I think the defensive line tonight was really awesome.
That's where you saw it at. Again, you had two quick teams. They're built the same way. There were no big guys on either side. And a lot of times that makes for an even game, whereas the bigger guys against Donegal all got tired towards the end of the game, and Mount Carmel looked even sharper against them. So I think he can be very pleased with what he did against a good Marian football team tonight.
Well, next week, as we said, we'll travel to North Schuylkill. The Spartans, again, not having that great of a season, but it's a game where they're up for Mount Carmel.
They'll be fired up, and we expect a great game at North Schuylkill.
Well, we'll see you all next week. This is Bob Else.
And I'm Warren Altamar.
Good night.